Hello everyone, welcome to my tutorial series on making graphical user interfaces with Python. So when you're working with graphical user interfaces in Python, you'd usually use Tkinter or PyQt. We're going to be using Tkinter, which interacts with TCL script. Tkinter is pre-installed and so is TCL script. So let's start off by creating a new file. Let's call this my GUI.py. We'll have to import the Tkinter module, import, and if you're using Python 2, you'd use capital T for Tkinter, and if you're using Python 3, you'd use lower t. Tkinter as tk. Then here we'll say root is equal to tk.tk, tk.tk, and tk. Now what did I just do here? I created a window, which is what we'll be discussing about in this video, a window called root, and that's because we're using the tk function of Tkinter, and this creates a window. Since our window is created, let's run this, and nothing happened. That's because we haven't started GUI execution, as in we haven't started our Tkinter windows. They aren't running. They've just been created. They aren't running. So we'll have to say root.main loop to start its GUI execution. Great, this is our Tkinter window. I can move it around just like any other window. Minimize, maximize, restore down. I can resize it, and I can close it just like any other window. But as you can see here, our program is running, and once I close the window, the program stops. So main loop runs as long as your window is open. So that's why if I say print hello Tkinter and I run this, so you can see there's no print over here. That's because our main loop function stopped any scripts that come after it. But as I said, main loop stops once you destroy the window or close it. So you can see hello Tkinter here, and then the program exited. So now we've created a basic window, but just take a look at this. When I run it, the title is TK by default. I want to change it to something like my window, so we can do that. So between your variable definition of root and your main loop, you say root.title, and this we can put it as my window. Let's run this. As you can see, just make this a little bigger. Yes, the title has changed to my window, and now I want to resize the window because it's a little too small by default, right? So we can do that by using a function called root.geometry. Do remember that you can use any variable name instead of root, just that root is the variable that is most commonly used. There's no reason for it. Size should be entered inside a string 500 by 300. That's the width by height, separated with an x by 300. You can change it to whatever you want. Let's try and run this. As you can see, this is the size of my window. now what I want to do is disable resizing of this. I don't want people to be able to resize it vertically or horizontally. So we can try this. Root dot resizable. You can put this before the geometry or title, doesn't matter. Inside this you put false and false. For X is for you can't resize, and Y also you shouldn't be able to resize. Instead you can also try 0 and 0. So let's try false and false. So run this. F5. And as you can see, I'm not able to maximize it. I can't resize it. All I can do is minimize and close it. So that's how you disable both the X and Y. If you want to, let's see if we can enable just the X repositioning. Saying true over here. Let's check. True. Let's run this. And you can only resize this. If you try to resize from the bottom, it doesn't work. There are a few glitches which indicate that it won't work. So as you can see, I get the option, but it doesn't resize. I can do it the other way around as well, but I won't be getting into that. So this is the important stuff about Windows, but there are several other things that we can do. Let's say I want to close my window. The function would be destroy. So it would be root.destroy. Root.destroy. But unfortunately, you can't put any code after main loop, and we'd have to have something like a button inside our GUI so that we could call this destroy function. But we can't do that as of now. We don't have a button, and you would use destroy only if you know you're never going to use that window again, or if you're fine recreating the window from a fresh start without any of its contents. I mean, you can use the root variable again after using destroy, but all of its contents will be gone. For example, say root.destroy. It won't work, sorry. Can't put anything after a main loop. So this is your window, and you can put widgets inside a window. The same way, you can see my editor, Visual Studio Code. All of these are buttons. You could say that this is the text field. This is a scrollable field with buttons. These buttons would be your files. This is a button. This is collapsible. And everything that you use on a computer these days is a GUI. Command lines are very rarely used now. So in the next video, you'll see how to create simple widgets such as text boxes. Of course, not ones that you can type in, not yet, but text boxes to label things.